and the Phoebus Phantoms welcome everybody to Darling Stadium for tonight's Group AAA Division 5 Eastern Regional Semifinals. The Hampton Crabbers 10-0, perfect on the season. The Phoebus Phantoms, their only blemish, a 23-7 loss to the hands of these same Hampton Crabbers. Bob, revenge is obvious, but Phoebus is got their hands full. They got to play a different Hampton team than they saw in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I really believe this Hampton team is really good. But Phoebus, what they're going to have to do to win, first of all, they're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to be successful to run it. But I think they're going to have to open it up a little bit. And I talked to Bill Dee earlier this week, and he said something about, I'm going to put the ball in the hands of my quarterback, Aaron Ward. We're going to let him make some plays. He kind of has held the reins on him and held him back a little bit. I think he's going to let him go a little bit and pass it. If they pass the ball, successful passing the ball, then, that opens up the run, especially with Lewis. But also, let's not forget about their fullback, Samuels, number 15. Good runner in his own right. They don't use him much, but, let's watch for him too.
Well, and he is an integral part, as is the offensive line for these Phoebus Phantoms, as to why Elan Lewis has had such a great season. This young man broke the 2,000-yard mark. He averages 219 yards per game. So if you can run the ball, as Phoebus has consistently all year long, then you're going to force Hampton to be, able to have. They're going to have to stop the run, and can they stop the run a second time will be the big question.
Well, if you remember that first game, Tim, Phoebus got the ball, drove it down the field, and then got stopped at the goal line. Had they gotten it in, might psychologically would have made a little difference in that game. I don't know. Mike Smith did a great job of making adjustments throughout that game, and especially at halftime. They come back in the fourth quarter. Phoebus had the 2 turnovers, and, you can't turn the ball over to either one of these two teams.
Those of you who saw the game will remember, personally, I've done games with you, Bob, for 23 years, and I haven't seen a better played, more competitive game than we saw that night. The score being 23-7 was not indicative at all of the closeness of that game. So someone who just picked up the score sheet from today, from the Daily Press, and said, "Oh, they beat them 23-7 in the first game. Must have been a cakewalk."
Yeah.
No, two late scores made the difference in that game. It was a competitive game throughout, and I see absolutely no reason why we'll see anything less than that tonight. In fact, this is the great atmosphere that you and I look forward to every year.
I get excited like the coaches do. But I talked to Bill also about the kicking game, and he's real confident with Chris Schwartz, their kicker. He says from 40 yards in, he's got confidence. He'll put him out there, let him go for the field goal if they need to be. So, that gives you a good feeling, especially if you're the kicker, if you know the coach has got that kind of confidence in you.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of the coach,
a
little earlier, Bob had a chance to talk with head coach Bill Dee of the reigning state champion, Phoebus Phantoms.
First of all, Bill, congratulations getting into the regionals. As always, one of your goals to get to the regionals, and I'm sure the ultimate goal is get to the state.
Yes, sir. It's been a good year. The kids have done a good job.
You've had a real good team, and and I look in the paper and I see 4 of your young men on the offensive line, first district. That's amazing.
Well, it's a real tribute to those kids and to Coach Narvert, who coaches the offensive line. He does a great job with them, and they've done an outstanding job, and we were fortunate where those kids got voted in. And the nice thing is they get voted in by the coaches throughout the district, and they respect those kids, and I respect everything they do day in, day out.
Well, you think that might have a little bit to do with Lewis? I know Lewis is a great runner, but you got to have somebody to open up some holes and some seams for him.
Well, it's a combination of a great runner and a great line, good line, solid line, and those guys love blocking for him. That's a big accomplishment, gaining those 2,000 yards, but blocking for those 2,000 yards.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's go ahead and name those 4 young men.
Well, we got Anthony Robinson, who Anthony's been at center, left guard Xavier Little, left tackle Garrett Powell. The right guard has done a real good job, Jonathan Marshall. He didn't get picked, but he was an honorable mention. And Thomas Johnson, the right tackle. And Matt Wright, who plays tight end, was second team all-district, and a lot of that was because of his blocking also.
Okay. Well, now I want to switch sides real quick and talk about your 2 defensive ends, and Stephen Friday and James Hill.
Right. Those guys have really been steady all year. I've really been pleased, and James came on this year and to fill Quincy McWright's shoes and has done a great job. And last year, Stephen stepped up and started, about a couple games into the season, and has just gotten better every time he's played.
Okay, what do you expect from Hampton tonight, Bill?
Well, I don't know if there's going to be a big change. I'm sure they have a few wrinkles, just like us. You're not going to see, wholesale changes. You're going to see good fundamental, basic football, and it's always a good football game, and you're going to get after it.
Well, listen, good luck to you tonight, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, let's go back up to Tim.
All right, thank you. And there you see the rapidly filling stands here at Darling Stadium. The Hampton team is the host team tonight as the Peninsula District champion with the biggest and the greatest power points in the district. And the Phoebus Phantoms, of course, play all their home games here, so this is no strange place to them. And they have a great crowd on hand on the other side of the field. So we've got the great atmosphere we look for, Bob, and it's going to be fantastic. Now, we heard about Bill Dee. We know about Ward, his quarterback, Elan Lewis, spoken all about. Their defense has been outstanding as well.
Oh, it really has. They've just done a real good job on defense, but if you look at Hampton's defense, leading the district in defense, they've given up, 5 points a game, which is just phenomenal. And, and I talked to Danny Mitchell and Alvis this week, and they said, we're not going to make a lot of wholesale changes. We're going to ride the horse that got us here. And if you look at what Mike Roberts has done at quarterback, has done a great job of passing the ball, especially the latter part of the season. He's really done well, and they pass 35% of the time. And, if you look at Phoebus, that's about half of what Phoebus does.
Well, 19% for Phoebus, yeah. But you're right.
So, and I asked Danny, I said, a lot of times when you break down a tape, you look at the other teams and you look at tendencies. The guard moves a little bit, or the quarterback looks over here, little tendencies and reads and stuff. He says, you can't do that with us because we don't have any tendencies and any reads. So it's a little tougher. You got to play them straight up. You got to play real tough defense if you're going to beat this Hampton team tonight.
Well, speaking of a Hampton team, they are without their coach, Mike Smith, who is in the hospital recovering from a serious illness, and he is not in attendance. But Bob did have a chance to talk with Alvis Mann and Danny Mitchell, the assistant coaches on the Hampton Crabbers.
Well, first of all, fellas, congratulations on winning the district. 10-0 is a fantastic job. First of all, why don't you tell us why it's you two here and not Mike tonight?
Well, Mike's in the hospital. He had gallbladder surgery, and he was late getting here Friday, and he's really been having trouble with it this season. And so they took it out Wednesday afternoon. It was gangrene. I think it was about the worst gallbladder in the world, from what I understand. The doctor said he had 24 to 48 hours to live if they hadn't gotten it out.
Wow. Well, needless to say that us at Channel 46, our prayers go out to Mike and all the best wishes. I always want to ask you a little bit about the receivers.
We got a good core of receivers. We have number 9, Todd Nolan, has done an outstanding job for us the whole year. And we got number 1, Raymond Holloway. And then we come back in with number 15, Charles Robinson, and we have Joey Mentor, number 81. So those guys have done a good job for us the whole year, and we're lucky to have them.
All right, and I also know, Danny, that if you're going to pass the ball, you got to have some protection for the quarterback. And your quarterback, number 1 passer in the district, so it means he's not only good at passing, but he's getting some good time to look at his receiver.
Well, he's either getting good time or he's good at ducking. So, we've been fortunate. We've done a little bit of both. We've had some good blocking, and he's done some good ducking. So hopefully we can continue it tonight.
Talk a little bit about that offensive line.
Well, the offensive line, really they're not that old. You take away Travar Broughton, he's the old man in the group. He's a senior, and then we have his brother on the left side, number 73, Herbert. And we've got Timmy Richardson and Dominique White at guards. Both of those kids are juniors. And we've got Daniel Careless Center is a junior. So, I know we're losing some skilled people, but, for me, it's going to be a good year next year because we've got a lot of kids coming back in the line.
Okay, now, I don't know which one wants to talk about what you expect from Phoebus tonight.
Well, we're a well-disciplined team. They run the offense very well and their defense. So the coaches over there have done an excellent job. Coach Dee, from the very beginning, has just built up the program. So looking for a great game tonight.
Well, listen, I just want to wish both of you guys best of luck. I know it's a new position for you, but I know you can do it.
Well, we're going to do it one way or the other. We're going to get it done tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good enough. Good luck, guys. All right, let's go back up for tonight's starting lineups.
And we invite you to join us now for the playing of our national anthem. All right, Bob, just to finish up our thoughts about the interview with Danny and Alvis, as often as they've been the assistant coaches, they've never been the head coach in a game, and especially a game of this magnitude.
Well, you know, what a better way to break in. But I talked to Danny a little bit about this team this year, and he said this team has brought Hampton High School football back to where it used to be. He said these are great kids in school, and he says the administration loves these kids. They're good students. He said no distractions this year. And he says been fun and enjoyable coaching this group of kids. And that, you know, when a coach says that, you know that that's coming from the heart, because these kids have worked hard since August. And it's good to hear things like that from the coach.
Absolutely is. So there you see the Phoebus Phantoms who have come on the field. The Hampton Crabbers have also returned to their side, as you see at the bottom of your screen. The officials for tonight's contest: Jeff James is your referee. Eddie Elliott is the umpire. Tyrone Brown is the linesman. The lounge judge is Melvin Knight. The side judge is Preston Harding Jr. Charlie Gann is your field judge, and your back judge is Bill Davis. And these are Southeastern District officials.
Yeah, well, I wondered. I didn't know any of these guys.
That's right. And our game tonight, we got some information to tell you about our corporate sponsors as well.
Well, we'll get waiting for the corporate sponsors. Here we go.
All right. And tonight's game is brought to you by Zooms, with 14 convenient Peninsula locations to serve you. By Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. And in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the manager. All right, we've got the officials and the team captains at the center of the field. Let's listen in to the pregame ceremonies.
The back judge is Bill Davis.
Scotty, do we have a mic on the ref?
Play some good hard football, hit them as hard as you want to within the rules. Once you knock them down, get away from them, okay? We'll go to y'all for help when we have trouble with somebody. If it's real bad, we will take care of it, okay? We'll reenact this coin toss we did earlier. Phoebus called heads. It was a heads. They have deferred to the second half. Hampton wants the football. Phoebus, you want to kick this way, correct? Phoebus, put your backs down there. Hampton, put your backs down here, please.
Phoebus Phantoms have won the toss. They have deferred.
All right, thank you, referee James.
And while we did have this little break, let me tell you that we will pick a player of the game from both of these teams tonight. Each player receive a trophy and a shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World. They're located in Hilton Village in Newport News. For all your recognition and award needs, trophies, plaques, and custom engraving, contact Bob Hilling at Trophy World at 595-7354. Mention this announcement, get special pricing. The shirt comes from the Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidering, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411 and talk to Dave Chubb or Terry McNamara.
And let's look at the starting lineup for the Hampton Crabbers on offense.
Daniel Carroll, junior. Dominic White, junior. Tim Richardson, sophomore. Traval Brawson, senior.
Herbert Broughton, junior.
Charles Robinson, senior. Todd Nolan, junior.
Devin Branch, junior.
Audrey Schuler, senior.
Derek Fairley, senior.
Michael Roberts, senior.
All right, we are set to get this one underway. The ball is on the tee, and it is in the air. A line drive kick mishandled at the 13-yard line, now picked up, and down immediately is number 21, Brandon Smith.
And that was Lindsay, number 9, going down and kind of horse collaring him. One of the things that Danny, watch the replay, one of the things Danny says, we got to start doing better on special teams.
Got him around the neck, stopping him at the 23-yard line, where the Crabbers will set up 1st and 10. We'll show you the starters for the Phoebus Phantom defense in just a moment. Mike Roberts, who has come on extremely well after suffering a broken leg early in the season, has been driving about 130 yards a game in the air for these Crabbers. Carrying the ball is Fairley, and he will maybe get a yard. And here are the defensive starters for the Phoebus Phantoms.
Cyrus Francis, senior.
Anthony Robinson, senior.
James Hill, senior.
Steve Friday, junior.
Devontae Lindsay, Jonathan Marshall, senior.
Travis Kadera, senior.
Stephon Moss, junior.
Lester James, senior.
All right, back to the live action. 2nd down and 9. Roberts has a man open just a little too far, as it was intended for the leading receiver on the peninsula, Todd Nolan, I should say, in the Peninsula District. And here's your replay. Roberts, plenty of time. Good offensive line work there, but the pass just a little too far.
Well, and he was open, Tim. He did a nice route. Him being Todd Nolan run a nice route, was open. The ball was just a little too far. And if you remember last game they played, in the first half he was like, second half he caught on fire.
Again, 3rd and 9. He wants to pass, has some time, throws, and one-hopped it to, again, Nolan, incomplete. And the Crabbers will have to bring on the kicking team, going on in a 3-and-out.
Well, this is one thing that Bill Dee wanted to do. That's why he deferred the second half. He wanted to put his defense on the line first, stop Hampton, make them punt the ball, give them Phoebus good field position. And I think so far that looks like what he's doing. One of our camera people, Susan Bowers, wants to tell her class over at Langley Elementary School, hello from Channel 46. They were going to watch this game. They did not know she had another job. This is an important job. Susan Bowers.
Sparkman, a junior, is in deep punt formation for the Crabbers. Back deep. Lester James, that's easily transposed.
Yeah,
James Lester, like, Lester James.
Almost like two first names. Line drive.
Line drive fielded at the 38-yard line. And, oh, what a great play on special teams. You know these teams are here to play. On the play, better known for his offense, Derek Fairley stopping him dead in his tracks at the 40-yard line.
What? That was just not a good decision by the runner. He could see, if you could see your blocker coming there to help you.
Well, the blocker wasn't as quick as the special teams man Fairley, and Fairley beat him to the tackle.
So Fairley just did a great job.
Now the Phantoms on offense will give you these starters in just a moment. That is Aaron Ward at quarterback, giving to, you guessed it, Elon Lewis. And Lewis bowls his way forward for about 6 yards to the 46-yard line.
One of the things that Hampton wanted to do was try to keep Phoebus in long in second and long in third. Well, you can't do it when this young man gets the ball and picks up 7-8 yards at a crack.
Lewis with 6 on his initial carry. 2nd down and 4. Phoebus with great field position near midfield at their 46. Just underway from Darling Stadium.
Bill is starting with 2 tight ends tonight. It's a different look.
Again, Lewis is short of the first down by about a yard. It'll bring up 3rd and 1. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, Mike Hauser, and Bob Killen, along with the Channel 46 crew, bringing you this Eastern Regional Semifinals. We'll give you the starters for these 2 offensive and defensive units in just a moment. It is 3rd down in the yard.
The first time these two met, how great both defenses did on the goal line. Those people didn't get to see that game. They just missed a wonderful game.
Well, fortunately, a lot of people knew about it and showed up tonight. We've got a full house, as we should. 3rd down and a yard. Lewis, the workhorse. He has got the first down, as he was a stop initially short of the first down, but his great leg strength was able to gain the extra yard for the first down. Now the Phantom starters on offense.
Aaron Ward, freshman.
Elon Lewis, junior. Lester James, senior.
Dustin Johnson, senior.
Matt Wright, sophomore.
Anthony Robinson, senior. Xavier Little, senior.
Jonathan Marshall, senior.
Garrett Powell, senior.
Thomas Johnson, junior.
And back to the live action up the middle this time as the ball is handed off to Samuels. Marcus Samuels, who Bob mentioned earlier in our pregame discussion, has done a great job of blocking, but he's also done a nice job of carrying the ball. Here's the replay. As you see, Marcus Samuels got yardage to the 46-yard line. That's a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and about 7.
And that's one of the things that kind of keeps that defense honest is that quick hitter with the fullback right up the middle.
Shifting out to double wides to the near side. The fake pitch, the inside handoff to Samuels. He's got a first down at the 35-yard line.
Well, that fake pitch really opened up something, didn't it, Tim?
Well, it did, because you've got to respect the power and the speed of the of Ilan Lewis. Watch this replay, and what you're going to see, well, defense. Okay, here are the defense for the Crabbers.
Dominic White, Jr.
Chester Bassett, senior.
Trevor Bronson, senior.
Tim Richardson, sophomore.
Charles Robinson, senior.
Jezreel Davis, senior.
Andre Schuler, senior.
Derek Fairley, senior.
Raymond Holloway, senior.
Brandon Smith, senior.
Todd Nolan, Jr.
And while you were watching the starters, Ilan Lewis, after the first down had been gained, got the ball and got stopped after a very short
Watch the
gain.
replay on it. This is number 62, Robert Edwards, really made the stop there after a yard pickup.
Yeah, it was an emphatic tackle.
Yes, it was.
8 minutes to...
But he's got to be careful. He started strutting around, and they will throw a flag on that in a heartbeat. This isn't the NFL.
8 minutes, actually less than 8 minutes now. On the fake, the pick, interception. Hampton's got the interception. One man to beat. Ward cut inside, got a block downfield, and he's going to, let's see, no indication yet. Yes, touchdown.
Touchdown. Well, at that time, Aaron Ward threw to the wrong guy. The guy on the outside was wide open. 75 yards on that touchdown, on that interception return for a touchdown.
I believe it was James Hill that made the interception. I'm trying to confirm that. I could not make up the number. I didn't even. I love the Hampton uniforms, but I hate you can't read the numbers at all.
Well, and Tim, the man that was closer to the sideline was wide open, and he threw it to the short man.
And the extra point is no good. That could be a big factor later on.
I tell you, Phoebus did what.
All right, let's see if we can pick up the number of the young man. It is number 8.
That's Schuler. Isn't it? No, it's Hill. You're right, Hill.
No, you had it right the first time. Andre Schuler. I was looking at the wrong lineup
well,
as well.
I thought it was Schuler.
Andre Schuler. My problem was I was trying to figure I was thinking it was a Phoebus on offense. Obviously, it was. But Schuler said no. 75 yards with the pick and a great run back. He got some good blocks downfield. These two teams, as we've alluded to, and please forgive our repetition, but they just keep everything the way it's supposed to be. Your defense does well, and when you pick the ball, they got great downfield blocking. It works every time.
Well, Bill Dee said something to me. He says, we got to keep Hampton from making the big plays, and that's a big play. It's a turnover, and it led to 6 points, and those kind of things are going to come back and haunt you. You got to really knuckle down now and get the momentum back on your side if you're the Phantoms.
Corey Johnson will kick off. Phantoms have Lewis as the deepest man, and it will be to Lewis. One hop at the 9-yard line. Lewis has a huge hole up the middle, cuts it to the right. He's got one man to beat, and he is dragged down at midfield by number 1. That is Raymond Holloway, who saved what could have been a touchdown on the return by Ilan Lewis.
Well, you see what I was talking about, what Danny Mitchell was saying. They need to do better on their special teams. But there was a huge hole.
Watch this run. I mean, right here, that's a hole big enough for a truck. You cannot let a young man like Lewis get that kind of running room. And fortunately for the Crabbers, Holloway was able to drag him down at the 47-yard line. So the Phantoms trailing 6-0. Back on offense. They shift again, setting up the tight end to the right side. This is Lewis, and Lewis on the ground across the 45 to about the 43-yard line. That'll be a gain of almost 4. Lewis's stats on the season are just phenomenal.
Well, first player in the district to gain 2,000 yards in a 10 game in the regular season. Amazing.
9.7 yards per carry. So you can just tell the college coaches around the country are just drooling about this young man. Great work ethic, and he just doesn't stop playing, period. He plays a full 48 minutes.
He does that. Zooms is giving an award to the senior player in each one of the Hampton schools this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These football players will be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continued support to WHCS and our student athletes. I'll tell you who those athletes are in the 4 Hampton schools after this play.
39-yard line, 3rd down and 2 for the Phantoms. On the option play, Ward keeps, and he has got the first down at the 35-yard line.
And those players are Bethel Deshaun Chester, for Kickotan, Thomas Gilkey, for the Hampton Crabbers, Trevor Broughton, and for the Phoebus Phantoms, Travis Cordera.
Nice block by Marcus Samuels again to lead the play there, and Ward on the option got the first down with ease. They mark it just across the Hampton 35-yard line. 6:09 remaining in the first period. A 75-yard touchdown on the interception by Andre Schuler has made it 6-0 Hampton. Missed extra point could be important later on. On the fake and the give to Lewis. Lewis driving those legs, and he is driven backwards, but not until he gets to about the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain.
Not 40.
30, brother. Be a gain of almost 5. They'll mark him at the 30. Well, let's see where they do mark him.
About the
36. So let's call it a gain of 4.
31.
36, 31. Carry one.
Anyway, if you're looking for a new or used car or truck, check out Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda. They're located at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give them a call at 838-5450.
I knew there was a 6 in there somewhere. It's 2nd down and 6 at the 31. There we go.
You are doing all right, Timmy.
I wouldn't go that far. Ward again on the option. Has Lewis trailing. Ward cuts it inside and is hit as he reaches about the 26-yard line. So he'll be short of the first down and bring up another 3rd down. This is the kind of play we saw with Phoebus in the past. They keep grinding it out, and the one time they threw the ball, it cost them. So I have a suspicion, not that Bill Dee's afraid to throw the ball, but he's got such an offensive attack in the running game. Why bother at this point?
Well, you're right about that, but you also have to loosen up that defense a little bit and pass the ball. But you got to make sure your guy is open before you throw him the ball. And I know that Hampton has played Phoebus a number of times. They know their routes. They've done a good job of scouting on the films. And Schuler just did a great job of going into the flat and in his zone and picked off that play.
You saw the crowd on the far side of the field, the Phantom faithful here in a big way, as Lewis is generally the guy they give it to.
No, that wasn't Lewis that time.
Generally the guy you give it to, but Marcus Samuels picked up the first down.
And again, they're looking for Lewis.
Well, and that's what you have to do. I mean, you've got to use him as a decoy occasionally.
Yeah, but you can't do too much because the kid is just too good.
They mark it at the 28-yard line. First down again for the Phantoms as they drive the field now after the excellent kickoff return by Lewis. And this is Lewis to the right side, and he is stopped initially and then keeps driving. He got about 3 more yards after he was stopped initially. But again, the whistle hadn't blown, and until the whistle blows, Lewis does not stop driving those legs. Watch this extra effort here. Right here. He's going to hit right here.
You think he stopped, right?
No, he's not. No. Well, see, look at that. He fell forward for 2 more yards after that. A gain on that play of 6 yards, which appeared to be about 3 yards.
Yeah. And it was nothing the defense did wrong on that one. They were where they should have been.
You've got to take them out at the knees. You can't tackle them up around the shoulder. That's the only thing they might have done differently on that play. 2nd down and 4. The inside handoff again to Marcus Samuels. He has another first down. He is inside the 15 to almost the 13-yard line.
And you got to respect that pitch to the Lewis, your main ball carrier. What a great play this is.
Death, Bob. Watch that. I mean, the key is they all just that momentary movement towards Lewis is enough to open the hole up for Marcus Samuels. Very, very fine offensive scheme being demonstrated by the Phantoms. Another first down at the 13. This is Lewis, and Lewis cuts it inside across the 10, down to about the 9-yard line. So they are marching down the field. The Phantoms burning up the clock here. 3:36 remaining in the first period, and they trail 6-0.
You know, the first game they scored first, and were leading 7-0. Hampton scored and missed extra points, so Phoebus was leading 7-6. Little different in this game. Phoebus is behind right away. We got an officials timeout again. And I don't know if it's must be equipment problem or something. They got it squared away, so now we're ready to go. There's a good shot of that's my buddy Danny Hilling.
And who's that behind him?
Oh, that's who's that? Oh yeah, that's Buddy Danton. Good shot of Danny. I'll have to tell him he was on camera. He won't believe that.
That is a good shot of Buddy Denton because he was covered up by Danny.
Well, we saw a big shot of him earlier.
The Phantoms continue to stick to the ground. Gain of a couple of yards. It brings up 3rd down and a long 3, almost 4. This game videotaped for your viewing pleasure on November 21st, 2003. Hope you're enjoying this contest. The winner of this game will move to the Eastern Regional Finals, so we're assured of a Peninsula District representation. The Phantoms would like to be there to have an opportunity for another state championship. Of course, they are the reigning Group AAA Division 5 state champions, and Hampton in their efforts to upend them.
Hey, we got 4th and what? About almost 2.
So now they're going to think about it. Phoebus is going to take the timeout as you watch that last replay from the ground level.
You got to play in there that's going to pick you up 2 yards. And that's what Bill Dee is going to talk to his team about. We'll talk a little bit about our crew tonight. Andy Foley doing the graphics. Andre Mattingly doing the slow motion. Our cameras have got Ron Baton and Nathaniel Braxton, Mike Nowinski, Susan Bowers, and Steve Fryer. Our production assistants. There they are.
That is
production assistants John Terrell, Juan Brown, and Sarah Myers. Engineer Don Chiraus. Where is he in that picture?
Don
Chiraus, right there in the middle. Wouldn't you know it? And a big guy, Scotty Beamia Bowers, up there on the top.
Is that Bill Cosby in the very front there?
Yeah, Bill Cosby.
Great looking group. Great look. Yeah, that's what it looked. That's right. It looked a little more like Richard Roundtree.
Shaft. Can you do that theme song?
Not me. But anyway, well, thank our crew for their always professional job. The guys get out here early in the afternoon setting up for these games. So they work a lot harder than we do at this, Bob, and I know they'll agree with us in a minute on that. 4th down, Lewis over the top. Did he get the first down?
Oh, yeah, he went clear down almost to the goal line.
No signal yet. And now they do. 1st and goal at the 2.
He didn't try to go through him this time. He just said, I'm going over the top.
Going over the top.
Because Hampton does a good job of getting low. Now, remember last game at this same end of the field, Hampton stopped him 4 times. So let's see what they can do again.
1st and goal at the deuce. Lewis upended again, holds onto the ball, but he is not in. He's about a yard short. 2nd down and goal. Phoebus trailing 6-0. Watch this from the ground level again. Looks like Wham Bam Cunningham from UCLA a few years back, right?
Oh, man. Is that good camera work or what?
So Lewis unable to get in on that particular effort, but has still 3 more downs, if you will. I can't see Bill kicking a field goal at this point if he had to.
No, I don't think any field goal at this point.
No reason to even speculate on that at this point. Ward may keep it himself. No, he gives it to Lewis. Lewis is in for the score. Elan Lewis with 1:12 to go in the first period. 1-yard run by Lewis ties the ball game at 6. Lewis on the season with 34 touchdowns.
How many?
34, now 35 with this one in postseason play.
Hey, a lot of teams didn't get that touchdowns this year.
Denby had 1. So the all-important extra point attempt. The kick is long enough, and the kick is good. So the Phantoms get the lead on a 14-play drive, consuming 47 yards. Actually, it was 52 yards because he returned the ball to the 48-yard line, and it took 6 minutes and 17 seconds to get it.
We got 1:12 left to go in the first quarter. Hampton's had the ball 3 offensive, or actually 4 when you count the punt.
Right.
And are just trailing by 1 point.
It's a little precarious.
That big turnover, and that's one of the things both coaches talked about. You know, you can't turn the ball over to a good team. You do, if you come back and bite you. And, you know, Phoebus has got to say, okay, now we stopped them the last time on our defense. Can we do it again? And they're going to have to stop the pass, Tim, because I know that Mr. Roberts is going to put the ball in the air.
You know,
he hasn't got in some pulver out there.
You and I briefly touched on the weather. The weather is not a factor tonight.
No.
Unlike the game the last time we were here when it was blowing steadily, there's little or no breeze. The temperature is very comfortable, so the wind is not a factor, and it should allow us for, again, perfect game conditions. And we've got a flag down.
Yeah, I think it was offside on
the
the
Phantoms might have been across the line early. They threw that flag just as soon as the ball was kicked, so if that is the call, it'll back them up 5. Again, the crew tonight, the officiating crew from the Southeastern District.
Against Phoebus, 5 yards.
Referee you were listening to. So that'll cost the Phantoms 5. Chris Schwartz will try it again. I imagine he'd like to have another shot at it anyway. He didn't really get that good a kick that time. So far the marquee players have scored for each team. Lewis for Phoebus, Schuler for Hampton. And this is taken at the 21-yard line. And again, Brandon Smith, who returned the initial kickoff, gets this one out to about the 30, I don't see where they mark it exactly. It looks like the 32-yard line. So it's 15-yard return on a 48-yard kick. And we'll get a chance to see this again. Brandon Smith right up the middle. So from their 32-yard line, the Crabbers trailing by a point. A missed extra point. Roberts under center. Out of the I formation, Schuler and Fairley. And it's Fairley who gets the handoff, and he will maybe get a half a yard at the most. In on the stop was number 82, Stephen Friday.
He's one of those defensive ends that I talked about with Coach Dee at the beginning of the game.
You wonder, Bob, reverting back to the conversation about Mike Smith not being here, he's been there all these years. How important a factor will that be on the play calling and the shuffling of the players and everything else? You have to wonder.
Well, you would, but these two assistant coaches, Danny Mitchell and Alvis Mann, have been with...
Oh, I understand that. But it's a different capacity. Roberts' pass is incomplete. I totally agree with you. If anyone has the experience and the know-how to do it, they do. But it's still a different situation.
Yeah. And Tim, on this play, there was about 3 receivers wide open, but as Roberts got ready to hit the open receiver, he couldn't throw because of the defensive pressure that he was getting. That's the first time he's got pressure from that defensive line and the defensive ends this game.
3rd down and 9 for the Crabbers. Roberts looking, got a man wide open, and he can't find him. He's just got to go out of bounds. Kind of rough shot, but crowd wanting a penalty flag, but none forthcoming.
Well, I think, in all fairness, Tim, I was down there on that sideline, and it was real soggy, and if you tried to stop, you would just slide.
They did have an open receiver, Roberts did, but again, it's a lot easier as you watch he just kind of fell over.
Yeah, but there was no unnecessary roughness
Raymond
on
Holloway, number 1, was downfield about 15 yards
wide
with
open.
No one on him. But again, it's a lot easier to see that from up here.
Oh, yeah. You're not running for your life.
That's right. Thank goodness for that. Sparkman's kick is fielded at the 32-yard line. Good effort. Out to the 40. Good special teams work. Lester James on a 7-yard return, and he earned every yard. Watch this. He does a good job of getting by one man.
Right there.
Makes
and
another one miss.
But look at the special teams down there. I mean, there are 4, 5, 6 crabbers around that ball carrier. We got the end of the first quarter.
That is
already.
exactly it. 12 minutes have gone off the board, and we're 1 point separating these two teams from their Eastern Regional Finals. As the score after 1 is Phoebus 7 and Hampton 6.
The Math Zone is back on Channel 46. Check out our new feature, Teachers on the Run. Call in to get help with your math homework or to solve the problem of the day. This is on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's live at 5 p.m. on WHGS Channel 46. And check out the Channel 46 sports website, WHCS46.sportscombine.com, and you will be able to get up to date on all the high school sports. And we want to also remind you that WHCS broadcasts the Hampton School Board meetings on the first Wednesday of every month at 7:30, and that also is live.
7-6, the Phantoms trying to repeat again. As the state champions, got a lot of good teams to play ahead of either one of these teams no matter what. Now, if Hampton wins, and we'll get into this a little more, if Hampton wins, they will host here next Friday night.
Yeah.
If Phoebus wins, they will travel next Friday night to a site to be determined. Phantoms with the ball in great field position at their 40. This is Lewis, and Lewis is going to pick up a couple of tough yards.
And they were tough yards. Hampton is ready for that play. That's basically called the elephant, with the 3 backs in the backfield line up in an I formation. And it's just like the hole was plugged up. There's too much there. And I look, eventually, if that happens, Lewis is going to bop that thing out to the outside because there's nowhere to go inside.
Well, and also, you again talked about passing, opening up the running game, and as long as you're running the ball 90% of the time, as Phoebus is at this point, Hampton's going to stack that line, and you're going to have to do something to make them play you honestly.
Well,
Ward with a nice play, out very close to a first down.
Yeah, he's
right at the marker.
Right at the marker.
Looks like he's about a half a yard short if where the official standing at the hash mark is where they mark it. I can't see the ball. No, I don't. That's not the mark.
He give him the first down.
They do, and he has it.
Well, I couldn't tell where he was marking like you because people in the way.
Yep. And that was right on the marker.
Scotty had it all along.
Sure,
all we had to do was just ask Scotty. I mean, what are we doing here? 20-some years we ought to learn. Now, Scotty hadn't been here 23 years like you and I have. 21, see. We're 21 for Scotty. We're 2 years older.
Just a kid.
He's just now legal to drink.
Lewis. And Lewis picks up about 5 out to the 45-yard line of Hampton. Phoebus has absolutely dominated the time of possession, but only lead by a single point. They have had the offense. The Crabbers have sputtered on offense, but have that big 75-yard interception return for a touchdown as their score.
But I tell you, if Roberts has time to set in his pocket, and he's putting the ball on the money, he's got open receivers down, and we've seen it on every play.
Again, that fake pitch and the handoff inside to Marcus Samuels gets yardage to about the 42-yard line. It'll come up 3rd down and 2. Watch this replay. See just the fake pitch and a handoff. It's nothing real fancy, but it's just enough to freeze everybody for a moment. And they'll mark it at the 42. 3rd down and a couple. Phoebus's only defeat in the last 3 years at the hands of these Hampton Crabbers. You know they want to win this game badly. Hampton on the other side want to win this one for many reasons, not the least of which is their ailing coach. Lewis gets the call and gets the first down as he crosses the 40 to about the 38-yard line.
Tim, did you see him that time as he's running toward the line of scrimmage? He was going a little bit left, and then he just saw a seam, and he just cut and accelerated through that seam to pick up that first down. Right here. Now watch him come back.
Sure.
He didn't follow his blockers. He said, I'm going to get that first down. I see the area right there.
Wasn't there world famous football quote, run to daylight, right?
That's run to daylight. I don't know who said it.
That was Mr. Lombardi and the Packers.
Aha.
Paul Hornung and Jim Taylor. Oh, am I showing my age?
You are that.
Lewis on the ground, burning up the clock. 9 minutes remaining in the half as they move the ball to the 35-yard line of Hampton.
One way you beat Hampton, and I'm not going to, sorry to interrupt you, is don't let their offense have the ball.
You can't score when the other team's got it.
Well, you can. They did.
That's right,
But I mean, but normally you're right. If you continue to hold on to the ball, you know, that's their game plan, is keep Hampton's offense off the field.
4 yards in a cloud of grass. 2nd down and 6 for the Phantoms. This time they do pitch it to Lewis. Lewis gets the corner and drags tacklers very close to another first down.
Yeah, I believe he got it.
It will be close depending on the mark.
Well, he looked like he hurdled somebody that time, didn't he?
Close enough for them to stop the clock and move the chains. And again, after it looks like he stopped, he gets another yard. And that yard this time enough to move the chains once again. So the Phantoms just continue to rack up the first downs. Let me check with my statistician to my left. 9 first downs. You can hear the Hampton Crabbers on the sideline exhorting their teammates. Hampton yet to register a first down unless they get a first down on an interception. You don't get a first down on that, do you?
Not on the first down. You never went from the line of scrimmage.
Right. There's you can get a first down when you score a touchdown, I understand, if you go more than 10 yards.
If it goes more than 10 yards.
Yeah, if it goes more than 10 yards. This is Samuels again. So it's been Lewis and Samuels so far. Ball is marked at the 25-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard gain.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are linked tonight with the Central
Phoebus 7 and Hampton 6 is our score. 7:25 remaining in the first half. 75-yard touchdown return, the only score for Hampton. And Phoebus with a 1-yard plunge by Lewis as set the fake to Samuels, and Ward keeps.
I thought he'd given it to Samuels at first, but then he kept it and didn't pitch it.
No, and our camera people were fooled as well, as that was a very deceptive handoff, or lack thereof, if you will.
Well, this is the first time it's been 3rd and long for the.
Yeah, they've had a number of 3rd downs, and you know, you got to think at this point, this is going to be a 4-down territory, and now the timeout.
Second timeout for him, I believe.
So the Phantoms do, in fact, take their second timeout of the first half. It comes with 6:41 remaining in the first half.
Talk a little bit about our corporate sponsors. Zooms, of course, has that Beantown coffee. Well, I don't need the coffee tonight, but I could use a Coke.
I could use some pizza.
Oh, they got
great
that?
pizza there.
They got some fried chicken, potato wedges.
Ooh, fried chicken, that sounds good.
We can go down and get a box and one of Krispy Kreme donuts.
Okay, we'll wash that down with some Coca-Cola and
there you
some
go.
Beantown coffee. Sounds
and
good.
Fill your car up with that good Citgo gas. And, of course, Hampton Chevrolet, Jeep Mazda.
You know,
Get
Hampton
that new
Chevrolet,
and used.
we don't talk about them as much as we do Zooms, but we should. You know, Hampton Chevrolet is a peninsula
icon.
Yeah. I mean, they've been on Mercury Boulevard for as long as there's been Mercury Boulevard, it seems like.
And they've had 1073 West Mercury Boulevard forever.
Right across, if you don't know where they are, they're on Mercury Boulevard across from the Riverdale Shopping Center, right there in the heart of Hampton, right near the Coliseum. And they have a great selection of new and used cars.
Yes, they do.
Chevrolet, and we appreciate their fine time.
What's their phone number?
It's 838-5450.
Hey, you got it.
I think.
5450.
All right. 3rd down and about 5. Play action. Got a man open, and he is going to get the first down.
Oh,
had to wait and see. He would not be denied.
Who was that? At the tight end?
I'm trying to pick up the number.
It's 15 looks like Samuels.
Yeah, it was Samuels. What a great 2nd and 3rd effort.
Yeah.
Watch this replay. He stopped there. He's 2 yards short, but he was not to be denied as he got the first down.
Well, I tell you, the Crabbers close so fast. They have some team speed that's just unbelievable out there.
17-yard line of Hampton. That's where they've marked it. 6:24 with the clock stopping with the out-of-bounds play. Lewis, again, the workhorse, gets the ball and just follows that big offensive line across the 15 to about the 13-yard line.
Well, that offensive line, 4 of those young men made the first team all-district.
And there you see Alvis Mann and Danny Mitchell signaling to the defense.
And those young men were Anthony Robinson, Xavier Little, Garrett Powell, and Tom Johnson all made first team all-district at offensive line.
You know, we talk about the defenses. Hampton allowed 5.2 points per game. Phoebus only 8.8. And Lewis is in the end zone, touchdown. 13 yards for Lewis.
Hey, you just know he's going to break one somewhere. He
just couldn't stop him.
No, he was the couple of Crabbers tried to arm tackle him because they were out of, didn't have him head on, and he just ran right through the arm tackle.
Once he gets ahead of steam, you're not going to tackle him with arm tackles. You have to take his knees out. Now Schwartz will try to make it 14-6. Got a momentary stoppage of play here for equipment. Looks like Matt Wright had to get something checked on the sideline. Phantoms again. Boy, that's identical to the last drive. 2 consecutive 6-minute and 17-second drives.
Identical?
Identical, exact same time. 13 plays, 60 yards as the Phantoms extra point try is up, and it's good.
And that young man has been pretty automatic this year. Chris Schwartz.
So the Phantoms have put the Crabbers in a hole now. They trail by 8.
Well, already the Phantoms have doubled their output against the Crabbers the last time they played.
6 minutes and 17 seconds.
12 minutes and 34 seconds in just the 2 scoring drives alone. And we still have 5:43, so my math real quickly tells me that Hampton has not had the ball often enough.
Now they've had two offensive series.
17 minutes to 2:08.
Wow.
That's your differential. That's dominant. Take that interception away, and boy, I tell you, it's a different situation. But the interception is one of those big plays that Bill Dee said they can't give up. So the Crabbers, and don't think for a moment the Crabbers don't have the explosiveness. They can score on you in a heartbeat.
And if they get their passing game going.
Well, that's what we saw last time.
They got to get Roberts a little more time to spot his open receivers. But you're right. They're very explosive, the Crabbers.
So Schwartz will kick it. 5:43 remaining in the half. It'll be taken again by Smith, this time at the 13-yard line. He's got some running room up the middle. He gets to the outside. And he is all the way to the 30-yard line.
Wow, what a nice run back by number 21.
21, Brandon Smith.
Whoa.
He had one man to beat. Chris Arnold caught him from behind. 58-yard return on the kickoff, and Hampton is at the 30-yard line of Phoebus. So no sooner do we talk about their explosiveness, and they are in scoring position already.
Special teams. And Roberts is checking off. He's looking for a receiver.
Out of the eye, the pitch goes to Schuler. Andre Schuler gets the corner, and he has got about a 9-yard gain as the Hampton faithful come alive.
And, if you're Phoebus, you got to say, hey, we scored. We are up 8 points, but we can't ease up. You got to buckle down. But nobody picking the pitch man up. Schuler didn't run into a tackler until he picked up 8 yards.
Well, Schuler was no slouch, averaging 71 and almost 72 yards a game. 719 yards on the season. And they give the ball this time to Schuler again. And Schuler picks up the first down as he is at the 18.5, almost 19-yard line. Watch this replay. But Schuler with 719 yards on the season, and his running mate, Fairley, with 748 yards. So just a little bit more than Schuler. The two of them right at 1,500 yards on the season collectively. First down for the Crabbers. Roberts keeps the ball and gets nothing. Might not have even gotten back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll be second down and 10, or a little bit more than 10.
Was the pitch man open that time? Yes, he was.
Yeah, but he didn't have much opportunity.
No. The defense just closed down him. Actually, I guess he backed to the line of scrimmage. And the guys in there in the stands are saying, throw that ball, pass that ball.
Well, you get a little gun shy after one gets returned on you.
Well, they didn't have one.
No, I know, but I'm just saying you don't want to run it. You don't want to pass it if you don't have to. Roberts stumbles, and that's just enough for the defense to bury him for a big loss.
And that's number 82, Tim. That's Stephen Friday, one of the defensive ends.
And Stephen Moss, number 11, also there to gobble him up. He just stumbled, and they are there. You just can't do that against this Phoebus defense. So now the Crabbers looking at a third down and 15. What, again, one would consider if you're looking down past this next down, it is 4-down territory. Crabbers
have they've got a field goal kicker, Tim. The young man kicked the field goal in the first game for the Crabbers.
Got the leading receiver in the district, Nolan, and a man wide open at the 4-yard line, down to the goal line.
We got a flag. There was holding. He actually took the Crabbers actually took the Phoebus man, tackled him.
Devin Branch was the receiver, but it is wiped out. There you saw it at the bottom of your screen, clearly a good tackle by the offensive lineman.
10-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
No doubt about that. That's not a controversial call in any manner.
And it's 10 yards from the point of the
huge
foul.
Penalty. Huge penalty. They had a 1st and goal on the catch by Devin Branch, but you know, the reason you get those 1st and goals is if you tackle the guy who's about to get to your quarterback. Oh, that's a huge
But that
penalty.
was
a great third down and 100 yards
right
now.
there, as you can see it.
Yep. Right at the bottom of your screen. He didn't mean to, but he did it. So it's 3rd and a ton. Roberts throws. He's got Nolan open. Nolan caught the ball at the 2-yard line. That's at the 1-yard line.
How in the world did he catch that ball?
Well, that's why you're the number 1 receiver in AAA Peninsula District.
A nice catch.
Nolan with 24 grabs on the season. Not nearly as many as Richardson with 40 at Warwick. But Nolan, the big-time catch.
But he's double covered.
He just went up and got it. Perfect throw by Roberts. Nolan timed the leap perfectly, came down with the ball. 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. 38-yard line, 38-yard pass. They had 3rd and a ton. Don't even know what the yardage was. 3rd and 25. 1st and goal at the 1. The Crabbers in business. They give it to Schuler, and Schuler is in for the score. So the big guns are doing the scoring for each team. Schuler, his 2nd touchdown on the season. That's 11 now for him. 9 in the regular season, and a 2nd touchdown of this ball game. And now the Crabbers in a position to go for 2. I believe they will.
Oh, you have to.
Well, you don't have to, but they are.
You got to here.
No, you don't have to.
Yes, you do. I don't think it was any doubt in anybody's mind on that coaching staff. They got to do it.
Hampton's going to take a timeout before they go for the 2. 2:34. Bob, is it what we hoped it would be again?
Oh, you can't ask for better football, high school football, than what you're getting here.
Yeah, you always do on the Peninsula District. 6 plays, 30 yards, 2:59 the time of the drive. And the biggest play of all, a 38-yard pass from Roberts to Nolan. Now, we started to talk about Nolan. I want to give you that stat again. 10 games, 24 catches, 681 yards, in 24 catches, an average of 68 yards per catch.
It's just amazing because the young man.
Wait a minute. Let that sink in for a minute.
68, you know. And it's almost.
It's not 68 yards.
It's what?
68 yards per game.
68 yards a catch, and I'm thinking per game.
But it's 30 plus. It's 30 plus because he had 24
that was
catches.
almost 30 in itself.
Yeah. 38, to be exact.
Okay. So there you go.
10 touchdowns. He caught 24 catches.
Hampton tried to draw Phoebus off to get that half the distance to the goal line, and it didn't work. So they took the second time out in a row. Nice call, though. I mean, you got to, you make it a little easier for you if you're going half the distance.
You got a good quarterback in Roberts who can throw the ball in the air. You got a great receiver in Nolan. He says, all right, go down to the corner right by the goal line. I'll just throw it up, and you grab it and see if you can beat the two guys. And that's what they did. But Nolan, 68 yards per game. Didn't want to confuse you on that. But 24 catches for 618 yards. My math isn't the best in the world, but that's about 25, almost 30 yards per catch.
It's amazing.
10 touchdowns and 24 catches during the regular season. And, of course, we're talking about Roberts, too. Now, he was, hobbled with that broken leg, didn't play the whole season.
But, he broke the same bone that Michael Vick, and Michael hasn't.
Number 5.
He's still out.
He's still out.
Yeah, re-injured it the other day.
Well, I think somebody stepped and he twisted his ankle.
All right, here it is now. Second for the two-point conversion. Roberts has a little running room, throws in the corner for Nolan. A flag is down. A penalty flag right at the point where the ball was dropped. But let's see how this was called. See if we can pick up and see what might have been the call. We're following Roberts. Oh, great coverage
against Phoebus.
There you go.
All right, so you heard referee Roberts tell you. Jeff James. So a interference call will put the ball half the distance to the goal. They got that half the distance they wanted.
Pass interference against Phoebus. Repeat the try for point.
So instead of 3 yards away from the goal line, it's at the 1.5 yard line.
Which gives you another option.
Just trying to tie the game. They give it to Schuler. No signal yet. And now
they give
finally,
it to him.
A very late signal. Fairley, actually, not Schuler, but Fairley got the two-point conversion. And it took a moment for the signal. I'm not sure we'll be able to see at this point. And again, at this point, now let it run because there still hasn't been an official indication. Yeah. And it went on and it went on and it went on. Finally, one of the officials raised his hands to indicate the two-point conversion was good. So benefiting from the pass interference on the initial two-point conversion.
Everybody, man. Let's go, baby. Everybody. Let's go, baby. Hit on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey.
All right, let them finish before I try and talk over them.
I'm not going to try to talk over them.
But they were not to be denied. 2:34 remaining in the half. Tied at 14. The fans in attendance have gotten their money's worth even if the game ended right now. And there's a lot of game to be played. So we're real happy to be here. We will have coverage for sure if Hampton wins and they host here next Friday night. We have to figure out for certain if we can have our coverage if Phoebus wins and they travel. And Bob, you won't be here regardless.
I will not be here regardless.
You will be on a big Iron Bird.
Iron Bird.
You'll be actually on Friday.
I'll be in Vienna by that time, yeah.
Vienna, Australia. Wonderful. I always wanted to go there.
Australia. Not down under, huh?
Oh, Australia. Austria. I knew that. This is Ward. And Ward. Oh, my goodness. What a nice play on special teams by Raymond Holloway. That's not the first big play that young man has made tonight. So Ward was just kind of looking for some running room and kind of not necessarily, he's not running his full speed, but all of a sudden out of nowhere comes Holloway to wrap him up.
You're going to have to put it in gear and get moving because the Crabbers are coming down and they're already in overdrive.
So the Phantoms will start from their 22-yard line.
And they don't have 6 minutes to run this ball down the field, but you can't be throwing the ball down here and have a turnover.
Well, gee whiz, they'll give the ball to Lewis because there's plenty, again, there's no reason to deviate from your game plan here. You're 70 yards, almost 80 yards away from the goal line. So, you know, if you break a big play, because Lewis can do that for you in a heartbeat, you live with that, and you just go into the locker room and say, okay, we played one half. It's just as if we hadn't even played a half.
That's right.
Everything's even.
We're even Steven after the half.
But knowing Bill Dee, he's not going to go quietly into the night. He's going to try and do something in this last minute 55 if he can.
Well, yeah, they're not going to do anything silly.
Ward on a very strange-looking play.
Well, I think it was an option the other way.
Yeah,
I think Ward is. Everybody went one way except Ward, and it was not what Bill Dee wanted to do.
Well, watch this for yourself. He goes to the left. Everybody else went to the right. It was like, oops.
Yeah. Did I run into some people wrong?
I'm just kidding, guys. I really didn't mean it. So it's 3rd down and 4 now. A minute 20 remaining. Each team has 1 timeout remaining. And Phoebus not in any hurry at all to get up to the line of scrimmage. They wouldn't mind just wearing this clock out. Hampton would like to get one more shot at it, but don't want to use the timeout at this juncture. This is a lateral to the far sideline. This is a ball that's thrown up for grabs, and it is incomplete.
Whoa, no.
You don't ever want to do that. Bill Dee just swallowed real hard as the young man who received that lateral just threw it up for grabs. Oh, eat the ball if you can't find someone to throw it to safely. Watch the replay.
I'm very surprised at this play because it was slow developing.
I mean, that play was really busted up by the offensive player.
Right, and not only that, when the young man threw the ball, there were more Hampton Crabbers around as potential receivers than were Phoebus fans.
That was a huge bullet that Phoebus just dodged. Nice kick. All the way back to the 32-yard line, mishandled, and then picked up by the Crabbers. Brandon Smith again.
Well, I tell you got 43 seconds. If I'm Hampton, I'm putting the ball in the air.
Yeah, you very well may.
You know, you just scored on pass play. You've got Phoebus 3 and out. You've got them thinking, you know, not positive thoughts. They're thinking, well, you know, what can we do? You come right out. Now's the time you jump right on them again.
Well, let's see how the acting head coaches do it. Danny Mitchell and Alvis Mann filling in for the hospitalized Mike Smith. Let's see if they play it conservatively. They do the draw play, which Fairley got the handoff and picked up about 5 yards.
And Raymond Holloway went over and talked to Michael Roberts and said, listen, I can beat my man on his left-hand side. So look for me if you're going to pass it.
Crabbers do not have to run another play, but it appear that they will as we're down to the 13-second mark here in the half. Roberts under center. Goes back to pass. Throwing it and completes the pass. Or is it intercepted? No. Which is it? They say now it's incomplete. It looked like it was intercepted for a moment.
Yeah.
Juggled and finally fell to the ground.
Well, I tell you, these officials are slow making their calls.
Well, here you see, this is who's got the ball? It looks like Phoebus has the ball, and then it comes loose. There you see it hit the ground. So the officials are going to rule that no one ever had control of the ball before it fell to the ground. Well, we've played 24 minutes, and it's as undecided as it was when we kicked off. Our score at halftime, Hampton 14 and Phoebus 14. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the 3rd quarter of action after this brief timeout. is all knotted up at halftime. Hampton 14 and Phoebus 14. As you see the officials at the center of the field set to get this second half underway. And the Phoebus Phantoms, who deferred to the second half, will in fact have the ball to start. First downs in the first half, lopsided. Everything's lopsided in favor of the Phantoms, except the score. 12-3, first downs, 33 rushes for 134 yards to just 10 carries for 14 yards for the Crabbers. Just 8 yards passing on 1 of 3 by the Phantoms with an interception. The interception, of course, led to the touchdown, or was the touchdown. 38 yards in passing for the Crabbers. 1 out of 5 with no interceptions for Hampton. Punt returns 2 for 10 by the Phantoms. No punts returned by Hampton. No sacks by either team. No fumbles lost by either team. Just 3 penalties all total. 2 by the Phantoms and 1 for 15 yards against Hampton.
That turnover with the interception, big play right there.
Oh, huge. Look at the time of possession, 18 to 5:50, and we are underway as the ball will be taken at the 10-yard line by Lewis, Elan Lewis, and he is out to the 23-yard line before he is snowed under, and the Phantoms will start from there.
Well, I know Danny Mitchell is happy, but the special teams on that play, because that's one thing they were concerned about coming in here was the plays on the special team. Good job that time getting down the field and keeping Phoebus on a long field. We know they're going to run the ball, and we know they're going to keep the ball in a lot of times possession. But the longer you make them go, the more chance there is for a mistake or a turnover or a penalty or something.
Ward calling the signals, gives to Lewis right side, and Lewis will pick up short yardage as he is gang tackled on the right side. The Crabbers ending their losing streak to the Phoebus Phantoms earlier in the season in what I've deemed to be one of the best games I ever saw. We do have a penalty.
5-yard face mask against Hampton. 5 yards.
So Jeff James, the referee from the Southeastern District, tells us is a 5-yard tack-on penalty. Not the 15-yard variety, but the 5-yard variety.
Inadvertent.
5-yard face mask against Hampton. We'll repeat first down.
All right, so it turns out to be an interesting call. They spot foul and they repeat the down. So it's first down.
It's 1st and 4 instead of 1st and 5.
Yeah. Lewis again, and Lewis close to a first down as he is stopped at about the 32-yard line. Needs to get to the 33 to move the chains.
Well, you got a much better chance of you got a much better chance when you're second and real short, and he went forward almost to what he did. They gave him the first down.
They had enough for the first down.
When he got hit, they pushed him forward, so he picked up legally 4 yards. Basically, it should have been 5 yards, right?
That's right. Mark it at the 33-yard line. Just underway here in the third quarter. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz, along with Mike Hauser and Bob Killen, as Marcus Samuels gets the handoff and gets a little bit.
Well, the Crabbers are ready for that. Danny and Albus made some nice adjustments. They've got some good coaches at Hampton. Been doing a good job for them.
No question about that. And again, if you just joined us, the teams are tied at 14. Mike Smith, the head coach for the Hampton Crabbers for the last 20-plus years, in the hospital, recovering from gallbladder surgery, a very serious attack that, as Danny Mitchell mentioned, another 24 to 48 hours, if it had been undetected, could have been fatal. So he is recovering and is not here.
And there was the option play with Ward and picked up very little yardage.
That was ugly. That just never really seemed to have any
and that brings up 3rd and long.
You watch this, he faked it and then kind of stumbled forward and really didn't fool anyone. So it is 3rd down and about 5, almost 6.
Well, Hampton seems to have made some adjustments on that against that running game.
And there you see the So at least you saw for the moment the big crowd here on the Hampton side of the field and a like-sized crowd on the far side, the way that should be in a game of this importance. 3rd down and 6. 14 all is the score as you see in the upper right-hand corner. Ward on the quarterback draw, puts his head down and gets close to the first down depending on the mark.
I think the way he's going to mark it, he's going to get it.
And they will not even measure for it. This crew has a hot date and want to get out of here quickly. They did not even measure. And a good effort by Ward to move the chains.
Well, he just put his head down and stayed low that time. The last time he carried the ball and went around on that option play, he was standing straight up. And, boy, I mean, that's like open season for these crabber tacklers.
Again on the option, Ward keeps and turns the corner, gets out to about the 47-yard line. That'll be a gain of almost 4, but a flag down.
We do have a flag on the play.
Referee Jeff James mic'd for the game, discussing it with one of the linesmen.
Blocking below the waist.
That'll go against the Phantoms. See if we can detect the...
That's the end of the run. Is that the spot of your foul? Back up, guys. 15, please. 66. Back up, guys. Back up.
So it's spot foul.
Still first down.
Still first down, as you heard referee Jeff James tell you. So the Phantoms, who are a ball control team, can ill afford to get in first or second and long.
And that's what I was telling you about, having that long field like that. It's a penalty or a turnover, something can jump up and bite you, but you can't block below the waist after you get past the line of scrimmage, and that's what happened on that play.
So the clock restarted with 8:35 remaining in the 3rd period. Still scored tied at 14 apiece. Ward, who's been finding some running room, picks up about 10 yards.
Well, he gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
So Ward, who is not known for being the leading rusher on this team, has taken that role on here in the 3rd quarter as he's gotten away from the play to Elan Lewis. But again, that all works very nicely because if you start keying on Ward, then of course he'll go back to either Samuels or to Lewis.
Well, you got 2nd and long. They need to pick up at least half of it.
2nd down and 11 to be exact. Ward looks over the defense. Out of the I formation, straight back to pass. Has some time, throws into coverage, and it almost was caught by the receiver coming to the near side. That is Dustin Johnson. But that's one of those plays where if you're the offensive team, you say, ooh, I hope that doesn't get stepped in front of. Because look at this, the Hampton Crabber was just a little slow getting over to that ball. And the defender I'm speaking of is Charles Robinson, who's been on fire lately.
Right, he has picked off some, hasn't he?
He's had like 5 in the last 3 games, and he was salivating as that ball came towards him because just a little closer, if he could have broken on that ball a little sooner, he too might have gone all the way. Fortunately for the Phantoms, it falls harmlessly incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 11. Ward has time again on a little swing pass to Lewis and a flag down. I think that's going to be holding.
Yeah.
I think they got Lewis before he had a chance to make the catch. See how they call it. If it is holding, it's an automatic first down.
Pass interference against Hampton.
All right, either way, that'll be enough for the first down.
Incomplete.
Might have heard referee James asking if it's complete or incomplete. It was complete. Now they'll huddle and decide how the penalty will be assessed. It was either holding or pass interference. It really wasn't much of a doubt as to one of the two. So it's 15 yards. Watch the replay. You're going to see Lewis coming out of the backfield, and he is, I think it was more held than it was interference, quite frankly.
But you know, it's a good judgment call. Was the ball in the air?
Right. So, nonetheless, a penalty is assessed to the 40-yard line of Hampton and a first down for the Phantoms. So they dodged a huge bullet after a 1st and 20. Had a 3rd down and 11, and now Lewis picks up 12 yards as he is down to the 28-yard line.
Just like that.
A dozen for Lewis.
Watch this replay. Nice block right there at the line, at the attack, and I'm not sure who that was. It looked like it might have been Samuels that threw a block on Schuler and really opened up a hole that time for Lewis. Tim, you didn't see it on the replay. You were over there talking with Mike.
104 yards for Lewis in the contest. Mike brings up a very good point. And I'll tell you what, after this play, as Samuels gets the call, the pass interference was called at or behind the line of scrimmage. You can't have, according to Mike, as I understand it, can't have pass interference behind the line of scrimmage.
If it's a forward pass, if it's a lateral, you can. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, I'm not the white-headed guys out there with the white hat. He's the one that called it.
Yeah. But it was right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But anyway, interesting point.
He was coming out of the backfield.
Right. Now, holding is, again, holding you can call. That can be anywhere. In any event, the Phantoms benefit from it. 2nd down and a long 7, short 8. The fake to Lewis for the end zone. Incomplete, as he was actually, had he caught it, it would have been very close to the back of the end zone and the end line anyway, but couldn't hold on to it in any case. But that was not a bad looking pass. You know, that's the kind of pass that isn't quite as dangerous.
Well, that kind of pass is, you know, you're putting it where only your man is going to get it.
Or if you give it up,
you could hear the Hampton coaches yelling, pass, pass.
Yeah, and if you give up the interception there, it comes out to the 20, so it's not as fatal as a return. But again, the Phantoms facing a 3rd and long. Last time was 3rd and 11, and they benefited from the interference call. That's 3rd down and a long 7 at the Hampton 26-yard line, potentially 4-down territory. Johnson goes in motion to the right. Ward, play action fake. Wants to throw, completes the pass for, no, did he hold on to it?
Yeah, that's Samuels.
Samuels, but did he hold it? Yeah, I saw it on the come loose at the very end, but they really did have possession. But it still brings up 4th down.
And if we got that in replay, look how close that was to being picked off.
Yeah.
We got that in replay, Scotty.
It is 4th down and a long 2, almost 3.
So we're going with the field goal.
At least appears to be.
And I told you that Bill had a lot of confidence in Schwartz.
This will be from the 28-yard line. It'll be a 38-yard attempt almost straight away. No wind a factor. Schwartz's kick is up. It's long enough.
And it looked good.
It's good.
Whoa.
So the Phantoms with a 38-yard field goal by Chris Schwartz go ahead 17-14 with 6:01 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
We will pick a player of the game from both of these teams tonight. Each player will receive a trophy and a shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World. They're located in the Hilton Village of Newport News. For all your recognition and award needs, trophies, plaques, and custom engraving, contact Bob Hillen at Trophy World, 595-7354. Mention this announcement, you'll get special pricing. The shirt comes from Tidewater Tea Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411 and talk to either David Chubb or Terry McNamara.
12 plays, 55 yards, almost 6 minutes. The Phantoms are getting a little redundant with their time of possession on the scoring drives. It was 6:17, 6:17. Now they went a little quicker this time.
Oh, just under 6 minutes.
5:59, capping it with a 38-yard field goal.
But if you averaged them out, they would all be 6 minutes, right?
Yes, it would. Yeah, that's exactly right. A little more than 6. That's 18 minutes they've consumed the time with 3 scoring drives. Kicking off, fielded by Smith at the 17-yard line. He had a great return last time out. He's still going and almost broke loose at the 30-yard line.
And number 10 for the Phantoms ended up getting him. That's Corey Blunt.
So a 15-yard return.
Watch the replay. Zooms is giving an award to the senior football player on each one of the Hampton teams this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These players will be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen Zooms for their continued support to WHCS and our student athletes. And those athletes are Bethel, Deshaun Chester, Hampton, Trevor Broughton, Kickitan, Thomas Gilkey, and Phoebus Travis Quidera.
5:54 remaining in the third quarter. Hampton from their 30-yard line. This is Schuler, and Schuler spins away from a couple of tacklers.
Nice spin move that time.
Gained almost 8 yards, just short of the 38-yard line.
This second half is brought to you in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the manager.
There you see it from the ground level.
And let's don't forget about Hampton Chevrolet, Jeep Mazda for the new and used cars and trucks. 1073 West Mercury Boulevard, 838-5450.
Second down and a couple. This is Schuler, first down and more as he is out close to midfield at the 48-yard line.
And let me tell you what's happening right now is Phoebus is thinking more pass than run, and that's opening up the run. The pass opens up the run.
Watch this replay. A huge hole and a quick hit by Schuler.
Schuler has just played well all year long. Played both sides of the ball. Excuse me, Tim.
Gain of about 10 yards out just to across the 48-yard line, almost in midfield. Phoebus by 3, 17-14. This is a pitch to Schuler, and Schuler this time not quite the success he had. Nice job on the tackle by Corey Blunt, number 10.
Corey again in on that tackle as picked up. Did he pick up a little bit, I believe? Depends on what he spotted just across the 50, didn't he?
Yeah, just across 50, almost 2 on the play. Second down and about 8. There you see the scoreboard, 4:28, the clock moving here in the third quarter. Each team with each of their 3 allotted timeouts remaining. Hampton on the drive, on the draw play to Fairley. Fairley breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and again Corey Blunt prevents him from getting more. But again, Hampton almost 10 yards on the play, might even have gotten 10.
And I tell you what, that was a great call because everybody's looking for pass, and they called the draw play. The coaches are just doing a great job of calling the plays, and I'm not sure if it's Danny or Alvis, but somebody's doing a good job.
Excuse me, gain of 8 rather. There was second down and 8, and they almost got the first down, but just a short. I tell you, that's so short, I'm surprised it didn't measure. Ball is at the 41. Only need about a half a yard for the first down. And they'll just keep it on the ground, and the quarterback keeper by Roberts will get the first down as he crosses the 40 to about the 39.5 of the Phantoms.
That's about the 4th tackle that Corey Blunt has made in a row here.
Watch this replay. He just waited for a moment and then followed his blocking to the right side.
He did a good job.
Easily got the first down.
And he spun after he got hit.
So mark it to the 39-yard line. First down, new set of downs for the Crabbers. There you see the man wearing a Chicago Cubs cap.
Well, this is the first time that the Crabbers have had a sustained drive in this game.
Came a long ways to watch the game. From the Windy City, nice pass in the flat. Still running. And that is Charles Robinson showing his versatility, known more for his defensive prowess.
I tell you what, a nice pass that time. I mean, it was on a line. Nice arm strength right here.
You don't draw it up any better than this. Perfectly thrown over the left shoulder of Robinson, and Robinson did a good job after he caught the ball. So the ball is marked at the 22-yard line. Another first down for the Crabbers. They're really their first sustained offense of the game.
Yeah.
They had the long drive, but it really was capped by that 38-yard pass. Roberts at play action. Got Nolan open at the goal line. Touchdown!
Wow.
Well, I mean, Todd Nolan just went at an angle play and was right on the money from Mike Roberts.
Yeah, Phoebus is going to win this game. They're going to have to put some pressure on Roberts because he had plenty of time to find Nolan breaking across the middle just on a post pattern.
That was perfect execution. You can't draw it up and play it any better than that. So after the Phantoms kick a 38-yard field goal, the Crabbers take the kickoff and go right down the field, but another extra point try. This one is partially blocked, caught in midair. I thought they could run it back.
Yeah, they can't do that. That was Travis Pradera, number 20, catching that ball.
Interesting situation now because it makes it a 3-point game again.
Yeah.
With Hampton now regaining the lead, 20-17. Bob, if you could just have these kind of games all year, the stands would be filled every night, wouldn't they? What a great competition we've seen. The first game was just as good a game as you can watch on any occasion, and this one is no second seat to that one at all.
No, none at all.
Crowd is enjoying it. The night is perfect. Temperatures in the 60s when the game started. Still very comfortable. And the fans have been treated to a great competition. It's so cliche to say it, but it's very unfortunate these two teams had to meet at this level of the postseason play.
This should be the regional finals.
Or state finals, better yet.
Yeah, better yet. Amen.
7 plays, 70 yards. 3 minutes and 5 seconds is all it took for the Crabbers to regain the lead as they've gone ahead. But that, again, missed extra point. That's the second time in this contest that Hampton has not converted after the touchdown. Elan Lewis will be standing back at his 10-yard line. And Corey Johnson, that is, will tee it up. From the ground level, you see Mr. Johnson's short kick, and it goes out of bounds. And that'll give the ball to the Phantoms at their 35-yard line. So that was just one of those times when a very, very consistent kicker, Corey Johnson, just missed the ball.
Yeah. The Mass Zone is back on Channel 46. Check out the new feature, Teachers on the Run, as we watch the replay. Call in to get help with your homework or solve the problem of the day. This is on Tuesdays and Thursdays, live at 5 p.m.
On the 35. First down.
Okay, good. On Channel 46.
35, 46.
Yeah, 35-46, Hut. And, of course, WHCS broadcasts live the school board on the first Wednesday of every month. That's at 7:30. Tune in and be informed.
All right, let's see if the Phantoms can answer now. As they drove the field, took almost 6 minutes to get their score, a 38-yard field goal. Then the Crabbers answered with about 3 minutes and drove the field for a touchdown without the extra point. Lewis got the call, picked up about 3 out to the 43, almost the 44-yard line, so give him 4 yards on the play.
Hampton defense is just ready for that run. There was no hole there, and good running just to pick up the 3 yards by Elan Lewis. Well, actually he picked up more than 3.
Yeah, they gave him 4. Johnson lines up to the near side. James to the far side out of the I formation. Now Johnson goes in motion. Ward on the option, pitching it to Lewis, and Lewis turns the corner and gets what appears to be another first down at the 45-yard line.
Well, that time nobody was on the pitch man, but they leveled Lewis as he was, leveled Ward on the pitch.
Here's the replay.
Oh, they missed him. I thought they leveled him.
See, it's radio. You can get away with that. You can fake it.
Well, if we didn't have replay, kids, they wouldn't have known, would they?
Way to go, Scotty.
Just caught me, Scotty. Yeah, well,
never mind.
We appreciate it, Scotty. We really do.
Lewis picks up 8 yards to the 47-yard line.
What a runner this young man is. So much strength.
2,000 yards on this regular season, 2,190 to be exact. 122 yards on the night for Mr. Lewis. Still about 100 yards short of his average. That's pretty sad, isn't it? Having a good night, but not as good as usual. We've still got a full quarter to go. This is Lewis who gets the first down as he crosses the 45 to about the 44, 43-yard line.
You got to take your hands off to both offensive and defensive line that's out there playing right now. these young men are battling, trying to be controlling that offensive or that line of scrimmage. And, you know, sometimes Hampton wins, sometimes Phoebus wins. So it's just a battle within battles. Each player out there's got his own personal battle going on, and it really makes an interesting game. What a well-coached both of these teams are.
Johnson in motion again. And again on that option play, Ward will keep it. And he'll drag tacklers for 3 or 4 or 5 yards.
More than that, he's gone.
Well, I mean, after he was stopped, he got 8 yards on the play, but he was stopped at the 3. But there is a yellow hanky on the field, so let's see how this penalty goes.
Yeah, and from where that is, it's probably holding.
Let's see what the call is.
5-yard face mask against Hampton.
So it's a face mask call, which will result in a first down because they'll tack on the 5.
5-yard face mask against Hampton.
All right.
First down.
So the extra 5 is enough to move the chains again. And the Phantoms now, if I can check with either Mike or Bob, how many first downs in the game for the Phantoms? 19 first downs for the Phantoms. They had 12 at halftime. And 6 FDs for the Crabbers at the 35-yard line.
At this point, lead the game.
Under a minute now remaining in the third. This is Lewis again, and the ball comes loose. Looks like the Crabbers might have come up with it.
And
they do officially signal Lewis, who is very sure-handed. I don't know how many fumbles he had on the season, but not very many. But that one came loose.
Robinson, number 15, got the.
I don't know what the number of fumbles were, but he carried the ball. Lewis did in the regular season 225 times, so an average of 22.5 carries a game. And I would guarantee you he didn't cough it up very often, but that time it came loose. So the Phantoms on a nice drive, but have that come to an end with the fumble.
Second turnover for them.
Robinson, did you say got the fumble recovery?
Yeah, number 15.
Yep. Fairley gets the call on what could be and should be the last play of the third period, as the ball will be held in the air to signal the end of 3. So a score from each on the board in the third period. The Phantoms a 38-yard field goal by Chris Schwartz, and the Crabbers countered with a 22-yard pass play from Mike Roberts to Todd Nolan, but a missed extra point makes this a 3-point contest with 1 period to go. And now down to the sideline, and Rod Baton.
Taisha Mason, Jennifer Jordan, Troy Jackson, Duncan Seymour, Candace Davis, Candace Patterson, Wanda Lowry, Chantel Gatlin, Nick Drew, Janelle Go, Justin, Ebony Kelly, Shantae Exton, my name is Joy,
So that was a roll call.
That was what it was. Roll call.
I'm Tim, and you're Bob.
And Bob and Brick and Brack. Oh, Frick and Frack.
Frick and Frack to my left, better known as Mike Hauser and Bob Killen, writing feverishly throughout this game, I might add. Yes, we are.
This second half brought to you in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, conveniently located at Hampton Center Parkway and North Homestead Avenue. For information, give them a call at 827-4670. Nancy Staten is the manager, and of course Ron Staten asked me to mention his name and said that the check is in the mail.
Fairly.
Whoa! How did he avoid that?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do the O over your.
That's all right.
Your thing, but I couldn't believe he hit that hard, and then he didn't go down. Really, Derek Fairley nailed initially. Look, whoop! Wait a minute, he didn't go down.
Well, he was. In all fairness, the young man that hit him was being blocked. A great block by the Crabber to knock him off the tackle.
So a gain on the play makes it 3rd down and 7 for the Crabbers. Need a first down here to keep possession. On the option play, the pitch to Fairley, and he does not get the first down as he barely picked up a yard. May have even checked that. Didn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
No.
So now the kicking team will have to come on for the Crabbers. As you see some of the fans along the sideline. Watch the play. This was just a mess from the very beginning. Fairleigh tried to cut the field in great condition. There was a lot of rain 2 days ago, but it's been a sun-drenched field today, and apparently just a slippery spot there as Fairleigh went to cut. So Sparkman is back to kick. Gets a spiral away, fielded at the 47-yard line. Lester James in Hampton territory at the 43-yard line.
Nice run back, about 10 yards at least on the return.
So they'll mark it at the Hampton 43. Great field position for the Phantoms.
And you know what's nice about that for the Phantom fans is they turned the ball over and it didn't cost them anything. In fact, they end up with pretty good field position. What a game. What a game. Woo, need some of that Beantown coffee. Fried chicken, pizza, potato wedges, Krispy Kreme donuts at Zoom's. One of our corporate sponsors.
Phantoms trailing by a field goal. Elan Lewis with the ball across the Hampton 40 to about the 37-yard line. He'll gain about 7 yards on the play. It didn't look like he had about 4 or 5, and all of a sudden he's got 7.
He's just amazing. He finds that little seam or crack. He just puts his head down, and it seems to accelerate a little bit. It's a kind of a player you hope to get, and you don't get him very often. But Phoebus has had some good tailbacks, as has Hampton.
Lewis to the 35-yard line. Lewis would like nothing more than to atone for that fumble. It didn't cost the Phantoms anything, but a little bit of field position is about all. Mark it clearly and squarely at the 35-yard line. They need to cross the 34 to move the chain, so it's 3rd down and a yard. We're down to 9:40 remaining in regulation. I think that's the term we can start entertaining, as this game has been very close. Field goal separates the two. Lewis stopped initially, but got it after a second effort.
He was hit by Dominic White, but short, but he watched Dominic White shoot through the gap right there and hit him, but he kept those feet moving and his knee never came down.
And got the first down at the 32-yard line.
But don't forget Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda, located at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Go down and see them. Check out the new and used cars and trucks, or give them a call at 838-5450. One of the icons on the peninsula, Hampton Chevrolet.
First down and 10. Lewis bounces to the left, keeps those legs churning, down across the 25 to the 24. A gain of 8 again. Young man is amazing. Averages almost 10 yards every time he touches the football.
I mean, he is hit, but has great balance. Great balance.
Picked up 8, 2nd down and 2. Shoe is flying, but so is Lewis. I'm not sure who lost it. Was it
somebody
Lewis?
Lost the shoe.
I didn't think it was. I'm not sure it was Lewis or not. In any event, it didn't slow down as he got inside the 10-yard line, and another first down. This will be 1st and goal.
It's Lewis and Shoe.
Yep.
Hampton. It's a first down, right?
And they got the ball spotted well on about the 9.
Yep. Now Lewis gets the shoe back on, but
Hampton took a timeout.
Hampton took a timeout, so it was of no great importance in any event.
Woo, woo. Oh, hot to go tonight.
So, by the way,
love this football.
You better be nice to Frick, because next week when you're in Austria, I will be doing the game with Frick. And
yeah,
Frank will
and
be to my
I'm
left.
thinking about letting him have my notes there so we can do this stuff. But if he loses them, he is the dead meat.
Mr. Lewis, just an average night, 2 touchdowns and 166 yards on the ground.
166.
Yep. And unfortunately, 1 blemish, and that's that fumble. Fortunately, again, for the Phantoms, nothing as a result. No loss of points, and did not give up any points, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And now they are in a 1st and goal inside the Hampton 10. 8:28 remaining in regulation. Again, Lewis gets it, and again he picks up yardage close to the 5-yard line. This game, of course, the Eastern Regional Semifinals. The victor goes on to play in the finals next Friday night. The loser is done.
Well, he picked up 4 that time.
They mark it at the 5-yard line, 2nd and goal. That would follow. Lewis, short of the goal line.
I tell you, he was trying to get, but the Crabbers, about 3 of them, held him out of there.
Well, you know, we talked about it. If you missed the first contest between these two teams, that was what happened on 2 occasions. Goal line stands. Watch Lewis. He's got the ball in the middle of your screen, just fighting, and the Hampton Crabbers equal to the task as they hold him out. 3rd down and goal at the 2. Out of the I formation. Ward stopped dead in his tracks. 4th and goal. Potentially the game on the line.
Why would you not give it to your
Well, you try something deceptive. Watch, the whole backfield goes to the right. Ward keeps it, and they nail him. You hope that they'll key on those 3 men going to the right. It's 4th and goal at the 2. This is it. Tight backfield. Lewis digs down low. He bounces to the outside. Touchdown!
Well, I tell you, he did a good job of bouncing that outside because Hampton had it plugged up in the middle.
That's what we've talked about every time we've talked about Lewis's running abilities. Watch this replay. You won't be able to see it because we're behind the play. But what happened was, as you saw in the live play, Lewis was stuffed at the line of scrimmage but got down so low that he just bounced away, and it was just impossible. It's like trying to tackle a fire plug. The Phantoms' extra point try by Schwartz is up, and it is good. So that is a 4-point difference now, as it's 24-20 in favor of the Phantoms. 9 plays, 43 yards, 4 minutes and 2 seconds. The Phantoms scoring, as you see the scoreboard, still plenty of time remaining.
Wow.
Hampton has 2 timeouts remaining. The Phantoms have all 3 of theirs.
Now, this is when, if you're Phoebus, you want to get the ball and run one of those 3 drives you had, 6 minutes, 6 minutes, and 5:59 time. Yeah.
You'd like to.
But I tell you, if Hampton's going to come back, they're going to put the ball in the air. They're going to spread that defense out. And when they do, that opens up the run for Schuler and Fairley.
York 36, New Kent 14.
So the Crabbers, as the lead has seesawed back and forth. The Crabbers started the scoring with a 75-yard interception by Andre Schuler. Missed the extra point. Phantoms went ahead on a 1-yard touchdown and an extra point by Schwartz to lead 7-6. Lewis took them ahead by 8, 14-6. And then just before halftime, Schuler scored on a 1-yard touchdown plunge. Fairley converted the extra 2 points, and we were tied at 14 at half. As the Crabbers returned the kick to about the 31-yard line. In the 3rd quarter, a 38-yard field goal by Schwartz made it 17-14. And then Nolan scored on a 22-yard pass for Mike Roberts to make it 20-17 after a missed extra point. And now the Phantoms, with Elan Lewis, with a little more than 6.5 minutes remaining in the 4th, have gone back up on top, 24-20, as Lewis has scored his 3rd touchdown of this game and his 37th of the season. Hampton now with plenty of time, and now we've got an official stoppage in play. And he may be going to ask the band to cease and desist. I'm not sure. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to ask the Phoebus band while the play is right there, which is right in front of where the Crabbers are on offense. So they will, in all fairness, ask the band to hold off at least.
So you can hear the sportsmanship.
Of course, now that should incite the Phoebus fans to make noise, and it does. Roberts eludes a tackle, throwing downfield, got a man, Holloway. He makes the grab at the 45-yard line. Did he hold on to it? And they say he did.
I tell you,
and referee Jeff James comes up limping. He went down on the play.
Well, I don't know if we have the replay. Well, watch Travis Cordera going right here. Almost got him.
We got to stoppage of play because the referee was shaken up on the play. He has suffered a leg injury and is stopping play while he tries to walk it off. There you see him in your picture, as he may not be able to go.
Yeah, he's calling the coach from the both sides over.
So this hasn't happened in an awful lot of occasions while you and I have been doing games.
Did we get him on getting knocked down on the replay?
I don't know if we got it on the replay. I don't know that he got knocked down. He just may have come up lame. Let's see if we can see what happened. No, he's trailing the play.
Oh, yeah.
That's him at the top right-hand part of the screen, yeah. And he just came up lame.
Nobody hit him.
And he's trying to walk it off. He may have cramped up. I mean, you know, the officials are not immune to this type of thing. And that's what he's indicating. He needs to stretch out that hammy. So this works out for both teams, and certainly doesn't give either team an advantage, but it allows them to
gives them both a chance to get a breather.
And of course, Hampton now would really like to keep rolling because they have some momentum on that beautiful pass play.
Oh, what! I tell you, I'm more impressed every time I watch Roberts. After he throws a couple passes over to their head there in the first quarter, then he settles down. And it's just amazing.
Yeah, it was almost a carbon copy of the first game. He struggled with some inaccuracies in the first game, and it was basically a tied game at halftime. And then in the third quarter of that game, he just came alive, third and fourth quarter. So let's see if referee James able to make it. Looks like he is going to be the trooper that he should be and going to stay in there. So you can't pull me out of this game. This is exciting for me, too. So they mark the ball at the Phoebus 45-yard line. Hampton trailing by 4. Doesn't take a mathematician to figure out you can't do anything with a field goal, except make it closer. And this is stuffed at the line with little or no gain as Derek Fairley is stood up by, amongst others, Corey Blunt. And called another number while I'm at it is Cyrus Francis. Just a little guy at 6'3", 300.
Yeah. Danny Mitchell is sending in the plays.
So no gain on the play. Second down and 10. Clock moving at 5:40 remaining in regulation. Grabbers have that quick strike capability. Roberts in serious trouble in the backfield, but got away from a couple of tacklers.
How many people can he get away from?
He ran 10 yards to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Whoa, he avoided some awesome hits.
And after 2 plays, they haven't moved the ball an inch after the pass completion. Watch this effort by Mike Roberts not to be tackled. He stopped there. He dodges one there. He misses another one there. And finally, they get him down at the line of scrimmage. So
you think they're going to pass the ball?
I think they might.
They got Phoebus is going to put a little pressure on
Robinson and Holloway wide to the right. Double wideouts to the right. Roberts play action. Over the middle, threw it too tall for Holloway. And it brings up 4th and 10. So now what do you do?
Well, you got to punt the ball.
Got 4:50 remaining.
And you hope your defense can stop them.
I checked that. You have 2 of your timeouts remaining. He had plenty of time. He just threw it a little tall. But the receiver he should have been throwing to, and again, hindsight being 20/20.
They're going for it. They're going for it.
Was the man who was at the top of your screen.
What a call.
So this
big play.
This is where you say, okay, I got confidence in both my offense and my defense. If I don't make it, I got to stop the reigning state champions. Roberts hit as he throws, flag down, completes the pass to Todd Nolan for a first down, but wait and see the penalty flag. But by the jubilation of the Phantoms, it'll be against Hampton.
And that was Brandon Smith.
Going to get a holding. Got to get a holding call, I'm afraid. If you're a Hampton fan, that's not good news.
Holding on 66.
So they're going to back up the Crabbers. Instead of 4th and 10, it will be 4th and about 22 if they mark off the spot from where the flag lies. Now, obviously, they have to accept the penalty and repeat the down.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Yeah. You can't take
illegal blocking it back against Hampton. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
So it wasn't holding. It was actually illegal block in the back. So now it's but you know what? Hampton had a 3rd and 11, and they went 38 yards on the pass to Nolan the last time. But this time, they will not gamble, and in fact, will bring in the punter.
Hey, watch. Yeah, don't be. There may be something else happening.
They line up in punt formation. Phantoms put good pressure on the kick. Takes a Hampton roll and will be touched dead at the 34-yard line. So now the Crabber defense will be called upon.
Yeah.
4:35 remaining, and Hampton has 2 timeouts remaining and trail 24-20. There you see the Phantom Faithful. Not easy for me to say.
Phantom Faithful.
Phantom Faithful.
I'm proud of you, Tim.
On the far side of the field.
Hey, players of the game. We got to be thinking of players of the game.
Let's let Mike Hauser and Bob Hill. Yeah, I think that's an easy call.
Yeah.
Well, first down for the Phantoms, and you're going to see a lot of Elan Lewis. He picks up a couple of yards.
Well, I tell you, Hampton's going to play as tough a defense because they know we've got to stop the Phantoms. We got to make them punt. We got to get the ball back.
When do you use your 2 remaining timeouts?
Well, not now. You got to wait till you get down within 2 minutes. And you may have the ball. You don't know. You can't be using them now.
Wasn't implying you do.
No, I know you weren't, but I'm just telling you what's going through my mind.
And there's a lot of stuff in there.
We
saw smoke a little earlier.
Yeah, that's what Mike said.
Johnson in motion. Ward on the keeper, and he is stopped after a very minimal gain. Brings up 3rd down and about 7, maybe 6.5.
3rd and long. And that's what Danny said he wanted to do. He says if we can get Phoebus 3rd and long, we've got a chance.
Valuable time wearing off this clock as we approach the 3.5-minute mark. There you see Ward, who's been very effective. Let me check and see how many yards Ward has on the evening so far. 55 yards on 12 carries, so that's not a bad average, better than 4 yards each time. And he gives to Lewis, and Lewis follows the blocking, and the flag comes down. And if that's a post-possession, after the play was dead, if that's an extra penalty against the Crabbers, that will be a real blow.
Boy, will that be a hurt.
It's a first down anyway, as Lewis, with 2nd, 3rd, and 4th effort, got the first down.
We have a 5-yard face mask against Hampton.
That's the 3rd 5-yard face mask.
5 yards.
Here's Lewis.
Back up, guys.
Now watch this. Lewis, I think he's back here in the pack. That's him coming out of the pack for the first down and being grabbed by the face mask. So they move the chains, which is what the Phantoms desperately needed.
Good shot of Susan Bauer. And again, I got to tell you, what a pretty smile.
Well, she's a teacher, right?
Yeah,
we talked about it earlier.
Yeah, over at Langley Elementary. She got students over there that didn't know this is what she did.
Didn't know this was her daytime or her nighttime job, right?
Yeah. So she wanted to say something to them, and we're saying, hi, kids.
Picks up about 7, does Lewis. And now the official timeout.
Yeah, I think we got.
That's Lewis who is shaken up. Now he'll have to come out for a play.
Yeah.
Or cost his team a timeout.
Gain of 7 yards on that last play. 2nd down and 3 for the Phantoms.
Lewis is still in the backfield. Interesting. Maybe now the other officials are saying he's still in the lineup, or I'm speculating that's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying.
Official stopped the play because Lewis was apparently shaken up. Now Lewis will have to leave at least for one play, or they'll have to call a timeout, and they have 3, so that's not a huge issue. But Lewis does come out, and the clock is restarted. If you're Bill Dee, you want the clock moving.
Yeah.
You want your man in there, but you can live with that too. We're approaching the 2-minute mark, so it's getting pretty close to desperation time. 2nd down and 3 for the Phantoms. And this is that?
That's
Stephen Moss. I was going to say that was a name and number I wasn't familiar with. And now a timeout being called by
Timeout. Hampton.
So Moss carries and brings up 3rd down and 2. So this is really the do or die time here.
Well, this is two down territory.
I'm talking about for the Crabbers.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Crabbers have to stop them here. Phoebus doesn't need any more points.
One more timeout?
One more after this one, yep. They have used 2 of their 3, have the Crabbers. And the Phantoms on the verge of revenging their only loss in the last 3 years. A 23-7 defeat at the hands of the Crabbers during the regular season. The Phantoms have had a nice winning streak that has been established since that loss, and want to keep momentum going into the postseason. Now, we'll tell you once we know the final outcome of this game. We'll let you know who's playing where. The loser is done, regardless. 187 yards on 42 carries?
Yeah, good job. Shout out to John, the guy that's in charge of the
42 carries.
That's unreal.
For Lewis.
30 is a lot.
Amazing effort by Ilan Lewis. Gee, I wonder if he has a shot at our player of the game, and he gets another 1st down. According to where I see the ball, it's going to be very close. In fact, it's close enough to.
He called timeout to move this.
Yeah, he said that's enough. So that is really pretty much.
And that could almost be because Hampton can stop the clock one more time.
One more time. The only thing you have to remember is to hold on to that oblong-shaped pigskin, because that's the only thing at this point that could derail the Phantoms.
And, Bill is telling them, too bad you don't have a clock that you can watch as it runs down, because you want to take as much time off the clock as you can.
Dustin Johnson's celebrating already as he literally hopped off the field with joy, knowing that it's pretty much a done deal as Lewis runs for the 43rd time this evening as the clock approaches a minute.
And we're going to get a timeout by the Crabbers.
And the Crabbers will call a timeout.
They've got to.
Crabbers, number 9.
Timeout Hampton.
So Hampton uses their last timeout to give us a chance.
Let's go with the player of the game, Tim.
Well, let's see. For Phoebus.
He said what?
You want to flip a coin?
That's what he said.
Okay.
Elan Lewis.
Elan Lewis.
Yeah. And for Hampton, young man has just played both sides of the ball exceptionally well.
Yeah, that is Andre Schuler.
Yeah.
And Schuler, and again, a lot of other players in consideration. Mike Roberts did a great job. Holloway, an excellent job. Robinson, great for Hampton. For Phoebus, Samuels has been very instrumental. Schwartz with a great kicking game. Ward has run a great game. And Corey Blunt with some superb tackling tonight. Can't give it but to one player from each team, and that's going to be Elan Lewis and Andre Schuler as our players of the game. So 103 remains in regulation.
If you get a first down, that's all she wrote.
It will be. And a give is to Marcus Samuels, and
first down.
It looks to be a first down. If it is, that is the ball game. So the Crabbers give it up. 54 seconds remaining. All the Phantoms have to do at this point is take a knee. And so what happens now is the Phantoms will have to travel.
Yeah.
And we are not sure where they're going to be playing.
It sounds like Lake Taylor was winning the game, but where do they play?
It's speculated it'll be at Harbor Park, but and we don't know for certain that we will be able to cover the game. because it's not here at Darling Stadium and we're not sure of the ability to set up at Harbor Park. So we will have to determine that. But having said that, we encourage every fan from the peninsula to support this Phoebus team.
Yeah.
They deserve your support. They're the reigning state champions.
What a job both of these teams did tonight.
No question. And unfortunately, Hampton's perfect season will come to an end. Their ailing coach in the hospital recovering from serious illness. Mike Smith, our very best to him, and a speedy recovery. Unfortunately, he will not be buoyed by a victory tonight as the Phoebus Phantoms are back in the regional finals. As time will run out here, and helplessly the Crabbers can do nothing to stop it. So our players of the game, Andre Schuler of Hampton,
and Elon Lewis
of the Phoebus Phantoms. 187 yards was the last tally we had heard for Lewis. 197 now on 44 carries.
He said they've been playing at Indian River. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, that will be determined, and we will hopefully be able to cover the Phoebus game, but that too will be determined
by the powers that be.
By the powers that be. We want to do it. It'll just depend on whether we can physically make it happen. In any event, what a game, Bob. What a great season both of these teams has had. And, you know, we were going into this game, everyone was talking about how unfortunate it was that one of these two teams would be defeated and unable to continue. And as it turns out, Phoebus gets their revenge and wins by 4, 24-20 in a great high school football game, second of its kind between these two teams this year.
Just been outstanding. We've been very fortunate to have probably the best football on the East Coast right here on the peninsula.
As you see the coaches, there's Bill Dee as he's going over and has already congratulated the Hampton coaches, and now being greeted by a number of the fans as well. And we want to tell you that our coverage tonight.
You want to talk about a sponsor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for the cue from the man.
From the man, and that man would be
Scotty. Beam me up and show me the board. Bowers. And tonight's game has been brought to you by Zooms with 14 convenient peninsula locations. By Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. And in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where your manager is Nancy Staten. So, Bob, the final score, Hampton on the short end of a 24-20 game. They finished the season 10-1. Phoebus improves to 10-1 and moves to the Eastern Regional Finals next Friday night at a site to be determined. For Bob Killen, Mike Hauser, Bob Hitt, and the Channel 46 crew,
this is Tim Cole.
Thanks for watching.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.